Let's shift focus to China for now. The city of Wuhan there is running out of cash. You heard that right. In an extremely rare move, the city has demanded hundreds of companies to repay their debt. The Finance Bureau says 259 companies owe it over $14 million. State and private companies, government departments and think tanks are the debtors that Wuhan plans to confront. The Finance Bureau said it was unsuccessful. So what is the alternate plan of action? Authorities are rewarding anyone who gets data on the debtors' financial assets. Reports say that China's outstanding debt stood at over $18 trillion last year, out of which nearly $10 trillion was hidden debt. And what is hidden debt? It's basically any kind of debt that does not show up on the balance sheets. The debt is issued through bonds, which are supposed to finance local governments. And what about the banks? How will this impact them? Experts say smaller city and rural banks are especially vulnerable because of their deep relationship with the local government. In fact, things are so bad that several cities have slashed medical benefits for seniors, and this has sparked massive protests. Things have gotten worse in other parts of the country. Reduced wages, slashed transportation services, reduced fuel subsidies. This is what the people on the ground have to face as the authorities struggle to justify the cause. And what caused the crisis? It all began in 2019 when Wuhan, the epicenter of the Wuhan virus pandemic, started imposing frequent lockdowns, mass testings, and set up several quarantine centers. China's zero COVID campaign exhausted the budgets of many cities. The government spent billions of dollars on COVID-19 restrictions. Experts say that China is facing an economic minefield of its own making. Although it's still not clear how much China spent on fighting the pandemic, reports say that the Guangdong province alone spent over $22 billion. And this is while the government's revenue fell sharply. How? Let's start with the household incomes, which were dented by rolling lockdowns, and this led to less tax revenue for the local governments. And then there were tax breaks to support businesses during the pandemic. The housing market slump made matters worse. Sale of land, which usually makes for 40% of the revenue, has collapsed. When Beijing's financial sector was in a mess, the central government clearly said it will not come to the rescue. The Ministry of Finance said, if it's your baby, you should hold it yourself. Will Wuhan meet the same fate? WION now available in your country. Download the app now. Get all the updates on the move.